Is a challenge as old as time.
Yes.
Are we going back to school thanks to the Porter and Chester Institute?
I
guess we are. Finding volunteers. How do you find school volunteers?
With so many parents on overload these days, how can local PTOs and PTAs draw in a number of volunteers that they need to host school events, activities, and fundraisers?
Well, we turned to folks at PTO Today magazine just over the Connecticut line in Massachusetts for some ideas.
Here's Channel 3's Kara Sunland.
You find that there's sort of the same 4 to 5 people that volunteer at every parent-teacher group.
Charles Field is the CEO of PTO Today magazine. Part of his mission is to help parent groups succeed, and to do that, they need to find volunteers, which he says has long been a challenge.
You have more 2-parent working families, you've got more single-parent families, you also have more non-traditional families, but the pressure on people's time is the same.
Emily Santanella knows that challenge. She is the president of the PTA at West Stafford School here in Connecticut.
And not everybody can choose this as their priority. Some people have to choose a sport, like, baseball season is incredibly demanding and dance classes can be demanding. And there's a little bit of everything that people want to do and want to do to support their children.
How does she recruit volunteers?
We try to make our events as fun as possible so that, people want to do something with it.
Last year, a PTA paint night raised funds that made a difference.
We went in last year and we were able to purchase document cameras for the classroom. So that took up, a good amount of fundraising to get those cameras, but the teachers are thrilled and it made a huge difference for them, for their classrooms and their teaching.
PTO Today's CEO says another strategy to increase parent involvement is to focus on what parents can do instead of what they can't.
Is there something that they could do for a half hour at home that can contribute towards it?
He says groups can also gain volunteers by removing certain obstacles.
Oftentimes babysitting is the biggest issue. What do I do with my other children, or what do I do with my children during an event? So a lot of groups will bring in high school students to do some of their volunteer hours to watch the kids.
And yes, a school-wide email seeking volunteers can help, but he says to follow it up with the ask.
I think the most important thing is a personal ask.
And resist the urge to lay on the guilt.
You guilt somebody into doing something, and then they end up running it or putting it forward, you're not going to get the best event or the best activity because they're just not going to put their heart into it.
And consider this suggestion from Lonnie Herrick, who also advises parent groups through her work at PTO Today. Ask parents to make a 2-hour power pledge.
So the 2-hour power pledge is saying, we as a parent group will only ask you to donate 2 hours for this year, and you as a parent are going to pledge to give it.
The parent signs the document, and as part of the agreement, the parent group leadership also signs it, promising to not personally ask for more than those 2 hours in that school year. Kara Sunland, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.